If you don't want to spin, get spun. Cause I'm back.
Ghost is back and I'm on the attack. Cold heart bomb squad, that's where it's at. Caps on the track and the smoke in the sack. So if you want a battle, bring a boost to a pack. Insane how it came for a scrimmage. Straight in the ribcage, pain when I hit it. Came with the lyrics and the eighth of the spirit. Hitting eighth of the wicked down, blaming in it. Kill flows with no remorse. Where Ghost should have given me a phone award.
Yeah. Like Mikey or Mike Hannaway, Makey Mike. There's a sound system in Leather Kennel Studios.
I'm Casper, Young Ghost or Ghost Media, just Casper, name. Yeah.
How did you come up with Young Ghost as your name, bro?
I mean, it's just my name. Like, my name's Casper.
Yeah.
People always just like called me Casper the Friendly Ghost my whole life, so I just thought I'd like reclaim it, you know, rather than let it be something people can tease me with. It's just like what you can know me as.
Yeah. Fucking. What about you, mate? How did you come up with Leather Kennel, bro?
It shifted my life, and I was like, moved out of had a breakup with an ex, and I took the Leather Lounge Suite and put it in the first studio, and it was like, oh, the old Leather Kennel, you know, when you're sleeping on the leather couch instead of, and it's just one of those names or phrases the boys came up with, and it was just like stuck with it.
Just stuck.
And then the logo was just 3 dogs on the couch, which was the first founding members.
Started off in the doghouse.
Started off in the doghouse. You know, stepped outside of what was going on, and you know, from a dark situation, and made it to something good. Yeah,
cool.
Sounds a bit kinky, doesn't it? The Leather Kennel.
Yeah. What pulled you to the underground here in New Zealand?
I guess I just always listen to music. Like, I've always just loved music. Like, when I was in England, I used to listen to like every type of music, but I was really into like metal and hardcore and punk. So I've always been like into that side of things. But then when I came here, I moved to Auckland initially. I started going to like heaps of hardcore shows, heaps of like underground metal shows and that. And then from there, I kind of got into hip hop, started rapping, started back when trap was real popping, started doing all that shit. Started doing shows at Valhalla, all that sort of thing. And then through Valhalla, I guess, I discovered nights like Surface and Section 9 and shit, and like the whole rave community that was out there. You know, I was always like, I knew electronic music existed, but I wasn't really that into it, because like what I knew, it was like, you know, deadmau5 and shit, like EDM, Skrillex and that. And I was always like, oh, this is a bit dead. But then I discovered like underground drum and bass, underground techno, all that sort of shit, and I was like, yo, this is actually sick. And like, as well as that, the sort of spirit behind throwing a rave, like, it's DIY. It comes from the exact same place as punk, exact same place as hip hop. So I just sort of saw that there was this crossover in ethoses, and I was like, wait, this is kind of a vibe. And then I started like rapping over those sort of beats, started throwing those sort of events, and straight away, like, I noticed the vibe was just so much better than throwing hip hop events. Like, hip hop was like, I don't know, it's not the same everywhere, but in the Wellington scene at that time, it was very much everyone out for themselves, you know? Like, you throw a lineup, you might have 200 people come over the course of the night, but there'll be 50 people will come to see one act, and then they're all gone, and then it's 50 people come to see the next, and then they're all gone. Yeah, like, it was just no community or camaraderie around it. And then I started stepping into the electronic scene, and I was like, oh wait, like, people are actually vibing, people are actually homies here, like. And then I was like, yeah, this is the sort of scene I want to be a part of.
What about you, Michael, bro? How did you first?
I'm Wellington born and bred, bro, and I always listened to like hip hop and sort of like trap beats. I think that it was dubstep that first grabbed me into that. Because I was like, I remember, I think the first time I heard was like a Fabric Live 37, Casper and Roscoe, and I was like, bro, what is this stepper kind of like? And it was just like, I remember they had on CD and it was just slapping it. I found myself in this sort of like club scene, and I sort of, after a while, I was like, am I just here, you know, being a punter and you know, getting wasted or whatever? And then it was like, or am I here because I love it? And then, you know, I suppose after this many years, it was like, it wasn't because I was messing around. You know, I was there for, you know, I was, you know, started at sort of fast Yetis. It was when I was like, oh yeah, messing around with the equipment, you know, plugging in the setup. So, you know, I did the cleaning there, did the door, did the bar, and, you know, then it was just like, you know, go ahead, the owner just try and put me on. Always real nervous. So he's like, you know, when it came to performing, which is why I kind of still don't really do it, but like definitely just been around it for, I mean, that was going back, you know, 10, 12 years. And just you know, haven't left my home and just sort of have surrounded myself with musicians. It's been great.
I think that's why we work together so well.
Yeah.
You're just good at all the shit I'm shit at, and I'm good at all the shit you're shit at.
Yeah. I don't even try. I was like, I'll just do what I do good because Cash will do the rest, you know?
Pretty much.
What's one underrated artist in New Zealand that you guys would recommend?
Real underground.
It's always the ones that are real close to me, like Alex, and like, they'll release something, you know?
It's hard to recommend an artist that doesn't
is.
release anything, eh? That's what I'm thinking, because I can think of like sick producers, but it's like sick producers who are actually releasing shit. I think Mace, I think he's based up in Hamilton. I don't know how much stuff he releases, but he sends me his dubs, and they're crazy. He's like a sort of drum and bass, breakbeaty, like dubstep with a very dark sound.
Yeah, cool.
I'd say Mace is one to watch for sure. He's a crazy producer. Kakuza as well, from around there. He's really fucking good. He just did a remix of my most recent track. Same deal, dubstep, drum and bass producer. Kakuza's really good. I rate Kakuza pretty highly. He's tough. Ultraviolet. Ultraviolet is amazing. He's someone I've worked with a bunch. We've got a bunch of stuff. He released tracks on the Big Fresh Collective. Again, just one of my favourite producers in the country I can think of. Those would be my three hot tips at the moment.
Yeah. Mine's got to be the hometown heroes, man. Got to be the D&G crew.
Yeah, all the D&G crew are hot.
And all them boys. And, you know, Connor, I'm missing Connor. Even though he's jumped the gap.
Well, he's fucked off to Melbourne now, so we're not mentioning him anymore.
He's still doing his thing, and you know he swings tracks back to us, so you know he doesn't forget us. That's good. And then obviously I'm just frothing on Timano at the moment.
Timano's sick, man.
Who I'm
crazy producer.
He's definitely one that I was like, someone showed me like, who does, you know? Like I think I had that sort of like Tubby Isaiah kind of like which I love, and then it was like, you know,
less reggae though, eh? He's got that darkness to it, eh?
And real homegrown sound. So just gotta represent the Leather Kennel crew a little bit there.
Yeah, Timano's hard.
I mean, that's who I know because I'm close to them, you know.
Smoking on this chronic, how we let go.
I find it hard to focus on it. We do so much sound system and stuff that other people were putting on gigs, and I'm so just with what we have to do and get done is week to week was getting like shows every couple, you know, every other week. Then it's like, when I go off and go into another sound system show, I'm like, this is cool. Other people do this, and
who are these people?
And I'm not full of anxiety for the show that's my own. Like I get to be a punter and tell them to turn it up. You know, I'm like, this thing go any louder, bro? You know, just to have a fucking have a laugh.
In the whole place, fucking up the process. Stone to the bed and I'm roasted. I got a skunk in my trachea. My lungs are blackened. I feel a metallic. A thrush in the middle. His dropping the bass like I'm caliber. I got no time for your barriers. I'm undefinable. Fuck your parameters. They want to pretty me up for the cameras.
How do you balance mental health and like being creative? And, you know,
I just want to kill myself all the time.
Balance your art and mental health with real life pressures, like
poorly, I'd say. I don't know, mate. I mean, art is like doing art and releasing art keeps me sane. So I guess that's how I balance it. With that, like, if I didn't have this side of things, I don't even know what my life would be. Like, it'd be fucking grim. Like, if I was just working, I don't know what I'd do. Like, this is just what I do. Like, I just don't know anything else. You know, it gets harder on the show front of things sometimes. Like, sometimes throwing shows so regularly can turn into a bit of a job, but it's important for me to remember that what I'm doing is for the community, and it's about platforming artists. It's about giving people an opportunity to dance, and it's about giving back. So I think it's just remembering why I'm doing what I'm doing and staying anchored to the fundamental mission of what I'm trying to achieve. That keeps me sane, I think.
And then it takes these small moments. It's just one person coming in here and they're frothing and they're like, oh, but this is the coolest place, you know. It's like, oh, you know, it is cool. And then you kind of back on top, and you know, just a fresh idea comes through the door. Like, it's always been, you know, just the crew that like all quickly remind me. Sometimes it's just that like literally the smile on that one person's face when they walk through the spot and they think that they've cracked it, and you're like, oh, this, cool, like, this is cool. I remember now, like, and this is why we do it, you know, like, it is literally the just that one person, often for me anyway.
It's so important to just like remember why you do it, eh? Like, you know, for me it's like that moment, like when you're making music or whatever and something hits and you're like, oh fuck, wait a second, there's a spark. From that spark, you know, you can start a fire. Like, you know, it's finding that spark each time where the magic is in the music. That's what keeps me going. Like, like you say, it's easy to take it all for granted or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think like buildings, you know, I've been doing Leather Kennel Studio for 5 years now. I like this vision of what a studio should be, like a successful one, like which gives you the drive to be like these other places you've seen, or like that are, you know, known places in the media or whatever it is. And then now being at this point of being like, what do I want, more recognition? It's like, no, you know, it's you know, like we've kind of achieved it. Yeah, you just have to look back and recognize it. Yeah, it took me, you know, I had to learn that. It was definitely one of those moments when it's like, oh, what do you want to do when you grow up? And you go, I don't know, as a kid. And then I had to look back and be like, oh mate, I've actually did it. And not a lot of people can say that, so it's good in that aspect, you know what I mean? Yeah, and again, I had to learn that thought process to enjoy it. Yeah.
So in one word, what does the underground mean to you guys?
In one word. It's love, man. It's just love, you know. Like, we're living in Babylon. We're living in a world governed by hate, where people are doing as much as they can to divide us and make us feel hate in our heart. And to me, the underground is the anathema to that. The underground is love. The underground is like being real, you know. The underground is, it's love.
Yeah, it's good, bro.
What he said.
I mean, it kind of goes back to what I was saying before a little bit. It's like
crew.
It is crew, and like the happiness within, because it's like, you know, like we don't need to be like the recognition of everyone be like they're doing it and they're doing it, because it's like, you know, we only need one other person to enjoy yourself. Yeah. I say it with the sound system. I was like, well, who's keen to come down? I was like, I just need one guy so we can enjoy it together, you know? You don't need all this recognition and followers when you're staying true, like, and just realizing what it is. I've gone a bit off topic here, you know?
No, you're right.
I was pretty on topic.
Right. You know, we can ramble on.
How tight is that shit? Who? Ghost.
Yeah, what would help young creatives thrive more? Venues, funding, mentorship, or community spaces?
Fucking all of the above. Funding. If I had to pick one of those, it's funding. Community spaces as well, and more venues, but like, you know, more venues is hard because it's a very tight ecosystem. It's like you get too many venues and all of a sudden in a sparsely populated place like Wellington, maybe people aren't selling as many tickets as they want, because, you know, with venues, like, community space is more of a solution than a venue, because a venue is fundamentally a commercial enterprise. Yeah. That's what kind of sucks the fun out of it in a lot of ways. But I think more venues, definitely. More community spaces, places that people can actually genuinely mingle with people of like different skill levels, people with different ideas, you know. I think especially with how accessible it is to make music, I think the majority of people these days, they do just make music in their bedrooms. And that's me included. Like, I make music in my bedroom half the time. Like, bro, literally, like, when we came down here today, all those projects I opened up were from 6 months ago. I've not been here to make music in like 6 months. And it's a fucking waste, you know, like, looking around. So like, community spaces are a huge one, but I think at the end of the day, funding is the fucking main one. Because if I look at why I haven't come down here, it's because I'm so tired all the time from working for the man, trying to make ends meet, that when I've got a day off, instead of coming to head down the studio, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just sit at home and do nothing. Whereas having that money, having that funding there, you know, it allows people to open up time, because time is money at the end of the day. So if people have got money, you know, people, they've got time. Yeah, exactly. So like, I don't know. And especially looking at like trying to do events and trying to get funding for certain projects or certain events, it's really not easy. They don't make it easy. It's like, you know, it's better than it used to be. It's a lot more accessible than it used to be in the past, so it feels that way, but it still feels like you've got to just tough it out. And it's like, yeah, like I get it, you know, it's not like a handout culture, you know, you don't want to be entitled like, oh, where's the money? But it's like, at the end of the day, it is an investment, and if governments and councils decided to actually put money into what we have here in Aotearoa, the incredible music scene we have, like, you know,
it could be one of our biggest exports.
We have a huge...
A lot of people just want to be here instead of leaving.
And a lot of musicians go overseas.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, if they'd stay here if there was more opportunity.
Dude, we've lost so much crew to Melbourne, bro.
we lose everyone,
all over the world, man.
And it's not even for that big culture change, it's just for that change and like, you know, like slightly better,
you know, just so they can pay their fucking bills.
Yeah, bro.
Like, it's just because people want to like live a slightly higher standard of life.
This is why I'm making this,
100%.
Right? It's like, to be like, nah, our community and our arts are actually very valuable.
The reason why funding is so important, the actual bit where you're making the music, you don't need to get paid for that, you know? That's fun. You know, you're having fun. You know, I could do that forever. You know, but you know, you still need to eat. You need to be able to pay your rent to do that bit. And then even beyond that, after the fun part, there comes the less fun part. You got to mix your track down. You got to master your track. It's still fun. I still love mixing and mastering. But it's like, that might be a 6-hour job, and then I might take another 2 or 3 hours coming up with all the marketing material, and then, you know, if you don't outsource your artwork, that's another few hours of making artwork. And it's like, it's a labor of love at the end of the day, but you know, it's like, you're like, oh yeah, I work 5 hours free, that's chill. And you're like, oh yeah, I work 10 hours free, still kind of chill. 20 hours, you're like, oh yeah, this is getting a lot. And it's like 40 hours of free labor, you're like, I can't
you know
fucking do that.
I mean, the same reason I still do roofing is because it's like, it's a good gig, and it's, you know, I can't go make anything near that just doing sound during the weekend. It's just, and like, for me, I've kept it that way so I don't try and get blood out of a stone here. It's like, I don't want to hate it for the sake that it's like a financial burden, you know what I mean?
What advice would you give to the younger generation trying to
collaborate with people, bro? Because I mean, in my experience, it's like, you know, like when I need something to come together, it's like, you know, I mean, even with meeting you, it's like, oh yeah, there's someone that's documenting, that's cool, let's do it together. Like, I got the space, you got, you know, you're doing your thing, that's something that I don't do. And like, you know, like, and then it gets done. Same with Ghost, it's like, you're promoting and doing that, you know, promoting Scary and Daunting to Trust My label. Whereas it's what you've been doing, we do sound, so it's like, you know, anything like that, sort of like, don't be scared to sort of reach out. You know, you gotta be able to like hit the lift or whatever, you know, like.
Pull it like, what's up with that? I'm making froth, just like a flat white. Cutting up tracks, call a man samurai jackknife. That's right, man, I ain't rapping a fight. If I played up, that's an arrogant night. I see the bait and I'll bite. I got no hate for you types, but I got hate in my mind that emerges when I put my face on the mic. It's taken my whole life to change and I ain't really done it. The only way I know to go is straight, so I run it. All these berry flavors, yeah, I got a whole pun it, man, I'm stunning. I got 420.
I'm real scared that they're gonna try and take our culture. Like, not just like the music and art, everything that's
They already are, they already are.
And then
I want to leave Welly. I'm sick of Welly, man, but you know, I can't let them fucking win. It's like they want to turn Welly into make it just as shit as possible. It's like, who's benefiting from this? A few fucking suits in fucking boardrooms. They're destroying our like entire culture just so a few heads can make money. It's like, and like, I'm not okay with that.
You end up looking for, like, after doing systems and stuff for a while, and systems can be like, you know, obnoxious or whatever, but it's like I kind of look for those windows. It's like I'll do a beat session, but I won't run it late so that like you don't get a bad rep. Just back in the day, people would just run it the night and just say it is what it is. But like, you know, like I kind of, now that I've been doing it for a little while, it's like, oh, I know that I can do a beat session, and if I don't take any lights in, it won't get messy later on, and then we don't get a bad rep. It's like you gotta look at your surroundings and not just be an asshole when you're there and be like loud into the night when you know, because you're just gonna crush yourself trying to fit into the environment as best you can would be the advice, because it's like, yeah, pick your battles. I hate it when people are just like, you know, security turn up and they just kick off at them, like, you know, get out of here, fucking whatever. It's just like, you know, what's just, you know, what's the issue? All right, we'll meet you halfway, and that's all you can do, really, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
You know, at the warehouse gig, it was like sound control immediately, and it's just like, you know, some of the punters are just like, oh, I've got to fucking talk to them. You're like, don't, please bro. Don't. Because it's like, this is me, bro, and like, you know, and you know, we want to, you know,
How do you guys deal with the like lack of outdoor space here?
It's hard. I mean, we're doing our pop-ups on the beach, but it's like planning a day with crazy weather. You know, like it's real hard to do an official event.
Yeah.
So it's just for ease. We just don't. It's just like we're on the day. We're like taking the rig out. Whoever's available. We can't get a lineup together. Just show up with the USB.
Yeah.
Because it's like as soon as we plan it. Because they never happen, there's too many people there, and it's just like I'm trying to control a crowd that I don't have a permit for. So it's all, you know, you have to sort of monitor that in the way it's different to promoting a gig that's at a venue.
Yeah, it's difficult. We're kind of taking the opportunity at the moment with how like in the dumps the city is. We actually do have a bit of leverage with the council. Like right now, we can go to the council and say, hey, it actually does benefit the city for us to have outdoor events or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, it kind of does.
They kind of know what to better do, like
they kind of know what's going on
in a way,
so like,
you know
that. So when we did the warehouse event the other month, for example, like they weren't pushing back on that, you know. Like, so we are actually in a pretty good position in terms of certain elements of the council do want these things to go ahead. You know, we have allies within the council, so it's not like, you know, it's more what the central government's doing that's fucking us up than the council. They're kind of on site. Like, big ups to the council. You guys are all good. The central government are the ones who are cutting funding to the council and are pushing conservative policy on them from the top down. Fuck those guys. I can't express how like angry a part of me gets inside when we're doing an event and noise control shows up, and I'm like, it's 11 o'clock on a fucking Saturday night. We're throwing an event. We've sold 200 tickets. You know, we're providing all this business to a local bar. We're paying all the artists. We're paying all the crew.
You guys aren't doing anything below board. It's all
a bar that's been existing for years.
You know, and we're bringing fives. And then and they're coming along.
They're crushing an ongoing thing that's been part of, you know, Wellington culture. Like Valhalla, it's been the spot's been a spot for as long as I can remember, and it's like, and they want to deal with noise control every weekend.
Noise control? Like, what do you mean noise control? Like, you live in the fucking middle of the city. You want noise control? Fuck off.
Tastes like I've eaten dirt. Gag reflex, I reel and lurch. Ghost on the block, I creep and lurk. Cook that feed up, seasoned work. I am a hungry man. I'll do anything, but I'm eating first. I only work with purpose, won't move without a reason first. I've been reeling in the cash.
There's only stuff for that reason. I feel where it's like, I get it in a new residential area that you can tell they don't like noise out there, but like, you know, when this is the city and these are long-lasting bars.
To me, it's just like a complete like dissonance between reality. Like, you know, music is used as this tool commercially, this like sort of glue to keep capitalism together. You know, it's like, you know, you go into a shop, they're playing music. You could turn on the telly, they're playing music. You know, they use music as a tool to make us do what they want. But it's like the moment we turn that against them and start building communities around the music, they want to shut that down.
Yeah, good luck.
No, for me, sound system culture is the rebellion.
Yeah,
Like,
Music. for me, it's underground culture.
Yeah,
And big ups to bars that do let us through the door with the rig, you know.
Hey, yeah, bro, big ups all those bars.
Because there's not many of them, so big them up.
Yeah, hard up. The ones that do let
Yeah.
Respect to the ones that don't too, though, you know, because the reason they don't, a lot of them is because they've done it before and had a hard time from the council or noise control and stuff, and you know they're trying to run a business, so they're like, it's not viable for us to be bringing in sounds like that. So you know, I respect the ones that don't let us in as well. But
Make sure you're getting all these rents, you know what I mean?
yeah, bro, don't worry.
It feels like it's in a weird place right now though, because it does feel like the underground and the mainstream are sort of merging, and the only difference, like the difference between the underground and the mainstream is not actually a sonic identity anymore. It's more just like a way of doing things. Like, you know, mainstream, like, you know, you go to an underground event where they're playing music that sounds like pop music, and you go to a mainstream event where they're playing like deep and dark drum and bass, but you know,
sound,
it's about the intent behind it and like what you're trying to achieve. It's like, if it's a commercial venture, it's fundamentally not underground, and that's why, you know, that's why we do need more funding, ideally, to keep this shit alive, because the moment you try and say, okay, how do we make this viable, turn this into a commercial venture, like the soul disappears from the whole operation. It's a predatory industry built on exploitation, and I think when you look at the roots of the music industry as a whole, like the original like recorded music, you realize that the whole industry has been built on exploitation since it started. You know, like when they first like started taking their gramophones out and recording African American blues singers and stuff, you know, they were milking them for all the royalties. You know, how much money was Leadbelly getting paid versus the guy who recorded him? And if you start to look at that, the whole history of recorded music, you know, Thomas Edison invented the phonograph. He's one of the biggest exploiters in like American history. His whole thing was about stealing people's ideas and mass manufacturing them so he could make money, and the whole music industry has been built on that since the start. And like, it's very easy to like look at these things and say, shit, this is the way it's always been, how do we do anything to fight it? But it's like, you know, we've got strength in numbers, we can change the paradigm.
All the greats have been through that like trouble with the label, because getting their masters, or you hear it all the time. You know what I mean? It's not like it's a new thing. You're right, and it's always, you know, the artists fighting for their masters, and it seems crazy. It's like
hard.
In music, I don't understand that. You know what I mean?
Because there's these contracts.
I do understand it, but like, you know, it's a sad.
You gotta read them, and it's like,
well, I think where we are is sort of in a middle period, because fundamentally, if you break it down, it is actually easier in many ways to create a living as an artist, in terms of you've got a lot more ability to market yourself and create your own brand and have control of your own brand. But then in another sense it's not. So like back in the 80s, sure, maybe if you wanted to become a big established artist, whatever, you had to go through a record label. But on a more basic level, back in the day, you could just record an album and then just go slang a bunch of CDs of it, and then you've broken even on the album, or tapes, whatever.
The hard copy was good.
The hard copy, and like you can still do that to some extent, but like that market fundamentally doesn't exist anymore. So like it's now easier to get brand visibility, but it's not. It's still, I think, just as hard, if not harder, to actually financially recoup it.